All right, Coach Leaphart from Gilbert. Just when you have to describe this past year, if there was one word to describe it, what would it be?
Special. This was a special season for our kids and our school and community. Achieved a lot. First time things here. First region championship in school history, most wins in school history. And just unbelievable Friday night experiences for our kids and community this whole year. So no doubt a special season for us here.
Think back to week 0 and getting that first win under your belt. Could you ever foresee that you will not only repeat what you did last year, but go even further?
Well, in that first game with Gray Collegiate in week 0, it was tied up at halftime, and we were just scrapping to get a win. And Gray Collegiate had a pretty good team, but we saw some flashes of some things there in that game that made us believe that we could do some good stuff this year, but probably not. We had a really great season last year, and so our goal though is to be better than we were last year, and ultimately the guys came through with it. But had to continue working hard and pushing, and had some things go our way, and kids did really well.
Well, it wasn't necessarily what you would say was a turning point, but if you look back at sort of the Dreer game, was that sort of really the boost that y'all really need to go through the second half of the year?
I think the biggest thing about the Dreer game at that point in the season, to be honest, we really hadn't been challenged a whole lot, and in that game, we got in a tight game in the second half. That game could have went either way at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and our kids made a couple crucial stops on defense in that fourth quarter, and then on offense. We had a key score on offense, and of course a key score on special teams with Manny and the punt return to seal the game. But that was probably the first time this year where we really had a game on the line in the fourth quarter, and then we pulled it out. So absolutely that gave us confidence going into region for those games down the line like we had with Brooklyn Casey and Strom Thurmond.
Well, that was sort of the breakout game for Manny. Just going into this year, did you expect him to have such a season?
Well, he had a great summer in 7-on-7s, and he did a great job for us in the scrimmages. And matter of fact, in that first game against Gray Collegiate, they were playing 2 people on him, and that kind of limited him a little bit. And so that was kind of how it started off. Is some people had seen some of that stuff, and they were double covering him, and then some people got away from that because we were able to do some other things. And then once that happened, Manny just took off. And then really after that, it didn't much matter what people did to him. Whether it was us throwing a screen out to him or throwing the ball to him on the fade. He just making plays for us left and right the rest of the way.
Well, who was some of the other unsung guys that sort of really stepped up higher than you thought they would?
Well, if you talk about unsung, you think about guys on the offensive line, and we had 2 guys returning from our offensive line the year before, and Erickson Abney and Jacob Burgess were our leaders up there that returned and did a great job for us, and Erickson got a lot of accolades. But then our other guys, they weren't very big, but man, they did a great job for us, and that's our center Parker Smith and right guard Matt Gant, left guard Jamie Anderson. Really did a good job for us, whether it was running the football or giving our quarterbacks time to throw it. Those guys don't always get much credit.
Just looking back, the only game you lost was against Dillon, which of course went on to win the state title. Mm-hmm. The fact that they won the state title does at least let you know that, heck, the only team that stopped us was the team that eventually ended up winning it all.
Yeah, I guess that does give you some consolation there when you go out, as if you went out to the team that wins it all. And they beat us by 4 touchdowns, and that was the closest anybody was to them, was 4 touchdowns. Chapman did some good things with them, but ultimately they still beat Chapman by 4 touchdowns as well. And they're always going to be there. So that's a measured stick for us, and we got to see where we stack up this year against Dillon, and that's just something that we got to keep working towards and growing in our strength program and speed and agility program. So that we can match up with them better, because they're always going to be there, and of course we want to always be there too.
What's the one area you think, if you keep building upon, that you can eventually catch Dillon?
Well, I think our kids have had basically a year and a half in the strength program, and those kids over there, they've been in it forever. So as we move along now, our kids hopefully each year that each fall that comes along, our kids are going to be a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, a little bit faster And so that's the area that we got to catch them.